Right now, there's no law. Well, in Florida, really anyone can interpret. You're permitted. Anyone. Doesn't matter. I know 12 signs. I can interpret. Yeah. Eek. But yes, and good luck. Those poor deaf people. So right now there's no law protecting deaf people. There's no requirements, they don't require certification. But this year, they're going to try to pass a law for Florida licensure through the legislation in Tallahassee. We're going up in March. Yeah, I think it's March or April. I think the voting is open April till May, and then they all vote and they pass it as far as the bill. So they vote in April, but prior to that, we lobby. We go to Tallahassee and talk to all the officials and talk about our bill and why it's important, and we lobby for that. So we're going to have a group going up there to Tallahassee in March. The third week, yeah, the Deaf Awareness Week, I think around the 25th, we're all going to go to Tallahassee. The deaf and hearing interpreters, we all go together, so if anybody wants to go, so come on, you can join us, okay? If the law passes, then things will change. They'll require certification for interpreting. So hopefully it'll pass. Our future lawyer. Okay, I want to explain what we have right now. And we're going to talk about certification and what we want. The first time I came here, I noticed that the interpreters, I wasn't really sure what they were doing here, and the people who hired interpreters, they just brought anybody in because no one was really checking for certification, and so there's rules to follow, and basically the clients are the one. Well, for me, I like to say the clients have the right to decide which person they want to choose to be empowered. So if this licensure passes, if somebody wants to be hired, let's say an interpreter comes in, you have certification, okay, are you licensed? If not, they can't work for us. So that applies for businesses with 15 or more employees. Less than that, no. The law means period. If I don't have a license, I cannot interpret in the state of Florida, period. So it doesn't matter if it's a small company, oh, I'm just going to interpret. If I don't have a license, then you can get fined. Or they'll put me in jail and they'll kill me. I like that idea. Yeah, stick them in jail. Torture them. No, I'm just kidding. But the point is licensure. So the interpreters have to take another test. If I get my licensure, I pay a fee to become licensed, but I have to be certified to get the license. But what's the process for getting certified? Because you have to be certified. That's the one negative, right? I know they're still discussing it, so we haven't decided what it looks like exactly as far as the rules and how that will work out. but the law is the same. To interpret in the state of Florida, it doesn't matter if it's a school to court, it doesn't matter, you must be certified. Or you must have licensure. But how do you get licensure? You have to be certified. So, are you confused? Okay. Now, if you are thinking of becoming an interpreter, that's great. Where do you go? I always put in Gallaudet. That's my college, Gallaudet. For the AA degree, there's many, but the closest is at Valencia, at the East Campus. They have an AA program. Right now, we're working and trying to develop a BA degree program. It's still in the process. So, okay? If the law passes for licensure, then this won't matter. But right now, if you are a signer, you can work, but should you work? No, but you can. So what is a signer? Someone who knows signs and the English, or maybe Spanish, or they can sign, they know a little bit about deaf culture. They can talk one-on-one with a deaf person, they can communicate. Should they interpret? No. Interpreters are mastery, and they know about deaf culture. They've taken interpreter training, how to interpret appropriately, the ethics. They can facilitate communication, and they can communicate one-on-one, but they can also facilitate communication smoothly. That's the difference. Right now, in school, many schools, they're hiring signers. So the poor deaf kids, you know, they're frustrated and there's not the language there. So. I'm going to preach again, but also encourage. If you want to improve your signs and you want to become an interpreter, you must socialize and interact with natural signers, which are deaf people. If you're just with your friends who are hearing, you may only improve a little bit, but if you work with the deaf, then you'll be able to sign more fluently. And go to everything, go to events, go to everything. I used to be a student just like you, and I was very nervous and shy, and you know, I have to talk with a deaf person, oh no, you know, I was nervous. Maybe you notice once you drink a little bit, You're like, oh, I can do this. I can sign. So I'm not encouraging you to drink or smoke. No, if you're under 21, no. No, don't break the law. But drink, that will help. Also, this is my advertisement. I'm not ashamed. This is my plug. This June, again, it'll be the second Deaf Art Show. You'll see more information later on, but I just wanted to put it out there now. This is very important. You have to be respectful. ASL is the language of the deaf. It's their language, so we have to respect that. We can learn it and they can teach us, and that's great, but we have to respect it. Because of time, I'm going to maybe you heard of Deaf Heart. You guys heard of that before? Yes? No? Maybe? Some interpreters, they work for money. That's it. They don't really care about the deaf. They don't socialize. They just want the money. They don't have a deaf heart. Deaf heart means they support, they advocate, they're involved, they socialize with the deaf. That's deaf heart. So they really care for the deaf. That's important. If you don't have a deaf heart, maybe you should not interpret as a profession. Remember with DAC? Okay. I don't know if the deaf feel the same way, but when a hearing ASL 1 student, the first time they meet a deaf person, they're like, hey, a girl said, hey, will you give me a deaf name? What's a deaf name? But she meant a sign name. But I don't know how the deaf feel about that, but really, you know, it's aggravating. The way you get a sign name is by socializing with the deaf and going to events, and deaf people will communicate with you and they'll see what fits you and they'll give you a sign name. But if you're like, oh, hey, give me a sign name, I want a sign name. And they're like, well, what do you like to do? I like to dance. Okay, what's your name? Adam. Adam? It's odd. So, for about 10 years, since my first sign language class, maybe it's been more, about 12 years. From my first class till now, I was given a sign name. Last November. So 11 years later. I did, you know, sometimes I was resistant, but my professor was hearing and they gave me a sign name and I was and then I went to Gallaudet and I thought I just spelled my name, Adam, it's easy. I don't really need a sign name. And then now that I work with children and they're low functioning and they have mental health issues, they can't remember my name and it's hard for them to spell. So finally, they gave me a sign name, Adam. The reason is because my hair. I'm always doing this with my hair. So, Adam. I cannot stress enough, the attitude is so important. A lot of people will ask me, oh, you went to Gallaudet? Oh, they hate hearing people, right? No. They hate stupid people. And I do too. It's important, the attitude. When I was in Gallaudet and I was on campus, I signed all the time. I didn't use my voice. And some hearing people would talk and they'd be on their phones on campus. And the deaf would just kind of look at them. You know, you're at Gallaudet. So the attitude's wrong. So it's important to have the right attitude. Chaw head. No one likes a chaw head. Do you know what that means? It's tired. Oh. There's two signs in the English to take advantage in English, but in sign language there's two. There's this, take advantage, in sign language, and there's this, take advantage. Okay? They mean different. This in sign language is negative. It has a negative connotation. Like exploit. If my goal is just for money, I'm taking advantage. Where I work, that sign means to sex offenders. It means to offend. So it's a negative. This sign is a positive, like to grab up. It's like I'm going to grab the opportunity. I'm going to grasp it. So for those who socialize with the deaf, it's important that you don't take advantage, but take advantage in respect.